So it's Sunday the 20th, day 17, and yesterday was probably, no, it was definitely the most difficult day so far on my Appalachian Trail through hike. What happened was I got up that big elevation I told you about yesterday. I got up I guess at 4 to 5,000 feet we climbed. I got to a shelter about 7 miles in, and I decided that I wanted to go on. It was still relatively early, so I went on and I went another 3 miles, and it was like about 3 o'clock, and then I was looking at the guidebook, and it said there was a hostel about 4 miles forward that could be reached from a road that you crossed, that the AT crossed. And so I called the woman that runs the hostel and asked if there was any space, because I had been in the woods for 2 nights. I really needed a shower, needed to wash my clothes. I just wanted to get out of the cold and stuff. And she said, yeah, sure, there's space. No problem to call her when I got to the road, and she would come get me. So I was thrilled, and it just got me through. So I kept pushing forward. I had a big inclination, and when I went up the incline, I probably went up to 6,000 feet. All of a sudden, it started raining, and I didn't think it was going to be bad, so I just let it go for a while. And then it just torrential rain. So I'm soaked, but I got on my rain gear because the temperature dropped too, which is a recipe for, I'm going to switch my hands here, recipe for hypothermia. So I got my rain gear on and was shivering, was freezing. And so I started running. I realized I had to get down to a lower elevation where it would be warmer. So I started kind of rushing a little bit. And as I'm running down, I fell for the first time. I haven't fallen. I was kind of on the trail, and there was a lot of leaves on the edge, and I didn't realize that there was nothing under the leaves. It was just precipice. So I kind of slipped, fell, got really muddy and dirty. Fortunately, no injuries, which was great. But so now I'm wet, muddy, cold, filthy. I still stink so bad from all the sweating and whatnot. Anyway, the only thing getting me through at that point was this hostel. And so I was so excited, finally made it to the gap, and I called the woman, and she said, I am so sorry. I was wrong. There's no space tonight. So, you have two options. You can either camp right there. There's a Forest Service road you can camp at, or you can put out your thumb and hitch a ride into the nearest town and get a hotel room. And I'm like, are you serious? Anyway, I didn't know what to do. I got nervous. It was 6 o'clock at this point. It gets dark at 7. So I looked at my water. I didn't have enough water to camp there, even if I wanted to, which I still am not ready to camp by myself. So switching arms again. Still not ready to camp by myself. And I didn't want to pay $150 for a hotel room in this town. So I looked at my guidebook. The next water source, which I desperately needed, was at the next shelter, which was 3.2 miles ahead. Now I had about an hour left of daylight, and I'm going about 1.5, possibly 2 miles an hour. So I knew there was good likelihood I was going to arrive in really dark or getting dark. But I pressed on. I just started running, essentially, as fast as I could. And I got through the first 2 miles pretty quick. And then I got to this mountain, and I just looked up. It was straight up. I didn't see it when I was looking at how far I had to go. And I looked at the guidebook to kind of get an idea. Am I going up this, or am I going around it? What's happening? And the guidebook, no joke, said, this is Jacob's Ladder, which, for those of you that know what that means and the biblical reference, it's the stairway to heaven, essentially. So I'm like, well, isn't this great? I'm about ready to collapse, and I'm literally going up the stairway to heaven. At least if I die on the way up, which was a distinct possibility, I'll be close. I'll be going in the right direction. So I started going up the hill, the stairway, and I've never gone up anything like it. Because I'd walked 15 miles during doing one of the most difficult stretches of the AT. I think it was ranked 5th of difficulty, what I had just gone through. And then to add this to it, I got halfway up the hill and I thought I was going to collapse. I didn't know what was happening. And so I had a little conversation with God, just me and him. And I got really scared. I got nervous because it's getting dark. I still had a long ways to go, and I started freaking out a little bit. And I don't know, something just came over me, like this calm, this peace that I was going to be okay. It's scary, but it's all going to work out. And so I finally pushed on. I got over the mountain. I got to the shelter. It took me about another, I don't know, half hour or so, just as it was getting dark, and nobody had tented. So I got a tent spot, set up my tent. Everything was fine. But it was really difficult going through it, and but it turned out okay. I didn't sleep very well last night because my hips and my legs were so sore that I couldn't really get them in a position that's comfortable. But tonight I'm going to Fontana Dam, and I did reserve a hotel room. They have a hiker special, so I will have a bed tonight to catch up on my sleep because I really need it, especially after yesterday and 3 nights in the woods. So I broke my record. The last record was 2 nights in the woods without going to a hostel or a hotel, and now it's 3. So anyway, I'll check in with you later.